I know this is a bit weird because I'm not in my usual setup. I'm normally in my bedroom, or when I'm doing a baking video, I'm normally talking over things as I do them without me being on camera. But for this video, it's more of like an opinion, a reaction video, but it's also a baking video, so I wanted to do it on camera in a little bit of a different way. So I'm going to be trying out the Poundland baking kit. This Missy! Sorry, my dog's like walking around on the wood floor, so it's so loud. That's what that little tapping is in the background if you can hear it. I actually got this video idea from Grace and Grace. Their channel will be linked down below because they do loads of videos like this. They are like the queen of testing videos and I love their channel, so I'll link it down below and you can go and check them out and subscribe. But they inspired me to do this. So I'm going to be trying my best to make a decent cake out of 2 of the Poundland cake mixes. I've also got a packet of the vanilla icing mix which I'm going to use as the buttercream in the middle, and I even bought the jam from Poundland. So this cake, if it works out, will cost a grand total of £4. So I'm going to get started now and I will tell you what I think as I'm doing it all the way through. Okay, so we have 1 box, 2 box, the vanilla icing mix, and also the jam. So what else do I need? The box says that I'm going to need 2 medium eggs, 170 millilitres of semi-skim milk, and 1 tablespoon of oil. Okay, so there's my 2 eggs, there's my milk, and there's my oil. Okay, so the first instruction is to preheat the oven to 190 degrees Celsius. So let me just do that real quick. Done. Next it says lightly grease 2 7-inch sandwich tins and line the bottoms with baking parchment. I'm actually going to be using an 8-inch tin instead of a 7-inch one because I like to live life right on the edge. Okay, so now it says that all I need to do is just whack everything into the same bowl and mix, which sounds lovely and easy. I can't be bothered to get the electric mixer out, so I'm going to be doing all of this by hand in a bowl, so that way you can see if it does work without a mixer as well. Start with the mixes. I've just realised I'm going to need double this if I've got double the amount of mixture. I don't think I've got enough eggs. Nah! I'm going to have to go to the goddamn shop. So instead what I'm going to do is just use half of the second box of Victoria sponge mix. 3 eggs. Then I'm going to use an extra 85 millilitres of milk and an extra ½ tablespoon of oil. If my maths is correct, which it probably isn't. Okay, so now I've got my 2 mixes, but I'm going to be using all of this one and only half of this one now. I've got 3 eggs and 1½ tablespoons of oil, and then I've got 255 millilitres of milk. So now I can actually get started with the mixture. Okay, so in goes my first packet of sponge mix, and then I'm adding just about half of the second mix. So now I'm going to put in the eggs. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to add the milk. Ah, that just went all over me. And the oil as well. There we go. It's a bit lumpy, I probably should have sieved the cake mix first, but oh well. Okay, I'm so tired of mixing now, so I'm just going to stop, but there are a few lumps of flour in there. I would recommend sieving it before you put it all into the bowl. Okay, so now I'm going to put half of it into my tin. And then I'm going to put it into the oven. And she's in. And that's going to be in for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so while my first cake is baking, I'm going to start on the buttercream icing using the vanilla icing mix from the same brand, Jane Ash's Kitchen from Poundland. Empty the icing bag into a large mixing bowl and add 80 grams of very soft butter. So all I need to do for this is add 80 grams of butter, so sounds really easy. Let's try it. I'm pretty sure this is just icing sugar, but anyways. Oh, I didn't learn my lesson. I need to sieve it. Idiot. No more lumps. Okay, so I'm just going to plonk the butter in there. So this is what I get with the icing, which is not going to be enough for my cake. And also it's really like not stiff enough to pipe out, and I want to pipe mine out. So this would be fine if you're like spreading it onto one of the cakes, but if you're doubling up your mixture like me, or well, half doubling up your mixture like me, you're gonna probably need more icing, especially if you want to pipe it on. So luckily I have some extra icing sugar, so I'm just gonna add that into here as well. I'm not adding any more butter though, I'm just adding a little bit more icing sugar. Okay, so I think my icing's pretty much done. I'm now gonna add it into my piping bag. So this is the nozzle that I'm gonna be using. This is just a star-tipped nozzle, and I got my piping kit from Lakeland. So I'm just gonna push it through my piping bag all the way down to the bottom like so. And then, because I don't have loads and loads of icing, I'm just gonna cup the bag over my hand like that to make a little hole. And then I'm just gonna spoon in my icing from there. You don't have to do this, you can just spread it with a knife, but this will just make it look a little bit more like professional, I guess you could say. Okay, so I'm just about to put my second cake in the oven. First one, it's said to bake for 20 to 25 minutes, but actually mine was only in for 14 minutes. And well, let me show you. It looks like this, so it's a little bit burnt on top. Luckily I'm gonna cut it anyway. It's also a little bit burnt around the sides. The middle is totally cooked as well, so I feel like the baking times on that packet are completely off, so make sure you do check yours if you're going to make one of these. But I'm going to slice mine anyway, like I said, and try and trim off some of the burnt bits off the edges. But other than that, it looks fine to me. So I'll bake the other one for about 12 minutes, I think. Okay, so this is my first cake here on the turntable. I've used my cake leveler just to cut off the top so that I've got a nice even base for the icing and the jam. This is my second layer, which I was a lot happier with until it crumbled at the side. And it's crumbled here, and also on the bottom one it's crumbled too. So they're both really fragile. They're light in texture, which is good for a Victoria sponge, but they're so light and fluffy that they've crumbled, so that's a little bit annoying, but overall I don't really mind. I feel like if I just put both of those at the back, it won't make that much of a difference. So I'm just gonna wait for these to cool down, and then I'll start to do the decorations and the filling. Now I'm gonna take some of this raspberry jam, also from Poundland, and I'm gonna spread it all over the bottom half of my first cake. This is actually a really easy way of piping, and it also looks really nice afterwards, so if you did want to do this, it isn't too difficult. And you also get a really even layer. Okay, so that's my icing done. I'm just going to find that bit where it crumbled from the side. There it is. For the top half of my cake, I'm going to match that up with that side so that I can just hide it. And then that should look fine from the front. So far, this is what we have. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Yay! Cake. Oh, just ignore that bit. Yay! Okay, so to finish everything off, to make it look a little bit more presentable, and also to cover the slightly more brown bits on top, I'm just going to take some icing sugar in this small sieve and then sift it all on top of the cake like a classic Victoria sponge. There we go. No one will ever know it's burnt. Okay, so here is my finished Victoria sponge cake. It's not the best cake I've ever made, but I am really happy with the way that it turned out. Victoria sponge cakes are known for their simplicity, so to test it properly, I need to taste it. Oh, it's got a lovely crisp to it. Oh, wow. So there we go. There's the inside. This is the important part, the taste test. Let's see if this actually tastes any good. You know what? That's actually really, really nice. That cake is so light and fluffy, which is why it was crumbling, but it was worth it because it tastes so, so good. Okay, so that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know that it was a little bit different, but hopefully you found it helpful, and now you know how to make a delicious cake for the grand total of £4. If you haven't already and you would like to, please make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you are aware of whenever I post a new video. And if you did like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Cupcakes. I had the idea for these when we were travelling around America and went to Starbucks. We had one of these drinks like every single day, so that's where I got my inspiration from. And I would also really appreciate it if you read the disclaimer in